Hello, welcome to the interview here on France 24. Russia's sudden proposal this week to put all of Syria's chemical weapons under international control as a first step before possibly destroying them was the latest dramatic twist in a 29-month conflict that's defied resolution. From Washington to Paris to Moscow to Beijing, diplomats are said to be hard at work trying to figure out whether such a plan is viable, and if so, whether a new UN resolution to enforce it can ever be acceptable to all the parties. But where diplomats and politicians see a potential breakthrough, some others see nothing more than a smokescreen. Now, opposition fighters in the Free Syrian Army are crying foul over Russia's proposal. They're warning it's nothing but a ploy aimed at heading off a military intervention by Assad, and that by accepting it, the West would be letting Bashar Assad get away with murder. Now, one of the people making that argument is my guest today, Louay Al-Mokdad. Welcome to our studios here. You are a spokesman, a political media coordinator, spokesman we'll call you, for the Free Syrian Army. You travel around a lot, trying to really explain what the rebel fighters' cause is about, who you are, and why you deserve the support of the West. I want to, though, ask you about this Russian proposal first. No sooner had the proposal been made this week, then the Free Syrian Army commander, General Idris, dismissed it. He said, don't be fooled. It's a new lie by the Syrian regime, and you cannot believe it. Critic would say, but guys, you didn't even give the diplomacy a chance. Why don't you at least see if it's a lie before you dismiss it?
We have been trying. We have been trying for 2.5 years. What Bashar al-Assad he did, just nothing, just from lie to another lie, just from trick to another trick. From the first day of the peaceful demonstration in Syria, what Bashar al-Assad did, nothing, just killing his own people. Just he said that, I am open for Geneva, I am open for dialogue, I am open. On what the ground, what he's doing? He's using the Scud missiles, he's using the tanks, the bombing, he's killing his own people. And now he's using the chemical weapons. We think that the Russian proposal is nothing, just a new lie, just a new trick, just to buy Bashar al-Assad more time.
But, sir, even the most skeptical people, even Barack Obama, U.S. President Barack Obama, who's been very much pushing for a military intervention, even he is now saying, let's wait, let's take time, let's at least step back from the brink, see if there's something true to this.
Yeah, but there is no decision yet. Even President Obama, he didn't decide yet. We don't know what the final decision for the American administration. But what I heard from Secretary Kerry and even from Mr. Fabius yesterday, it was very clear that it's a new game. It's 90% it will be a game. And even the French government, they said if there will be no clear guarantees under Chapter 7 and this stuff, it will be just a football game.
So you think this is perhaps, you're suggesting this is perhaps just a pause. The West is taking a little bit of a pause, but their firm intention is still for a military intervention.
Sure. I think that there's no another solution. Bashar al-Assad, he understands only the force. He don't understand any another language. He's lying. And we think that the problem is not about the weapon. It's about the murderer who used the weapon. Even if Bashar al-Assad, he gave some of his chemical weapons today. So what will make you sure that he will not produce a new chemical weapon tomorrow? What may make you sure he will give you all of his chemical weapon? Do you know how much chemical weapon? No one knows how much he has or where he stored the chemical weapon. And there is another danger. We warned all the governments from this, that Bashar al-Assad, maybe today, he will give some of his chemical equipments for the international community, and next day, he will use the chemical weapon freely. He can use the chemical weapon, and you will be what you did.
We've heard this argument. Let me ask you, a lot of people who have been following this story and perhaps do think that it is definitely Assad who used these weapons, they still don't have a sense, they're not sure about it. They want proof, they want to see intelligence, they want to see evidence. They are skeptical, and they don't want to rush into another war. That's public opinion. Can you accept that? Can you understand that?
There is a murder in Syria. Who said that? Yes, I have the chemical weapon. Yes, I have chemical equipments. Yes, I will give it to the international community.
It was let me just correct you, sir, though, but it wasn't, they didn't explicitly, they did not say, yes, we have chemical weapons. They said that they would divulge, they would turn over details about their arsenal of chemical weapons. It's what we would call a tacit admission that they have weapons.
It's a new game, as I told you. It's a new trick. And the regime is very good in this kind of tricks. 42 years he's playing games with the international community. Hafiz al-Assad and his son Bashar, They playing game. So do you know Bashar al-Assad, he has a chemical weapon or no? Till now, he didn't say, yes, I have a chemical weapon. No, I said, yes, I have it.
They've admitted that they have it. Let me be devil's advocate again. They admit they have it. That's a lot different than admitting they used it. He's not admitting they used it. And the Russians are still suggesting, President Putin himself has said that this was a rebel provocation in order to get the West to attack Bashar Assad.
Actually, we explained so many times. First of all, we are short in the normal weapon and in everything. So how we could produce chemical weapons? We don't have the mechanism to launch the chemical weapons. We don't have missiles who could carry unconventional warheads. We don't have air force to launch chemical weapon. The strike in Al-Ghouta 2 weeks ago, it was on 10 points in the same time with the points far from each others and in same time. It needs government forces, not by anyone. It's not something you can do it by your hand.
I listen, I hear what you're saying. What if I'm a viewer sitting out there and I'm hearing you saying this and say, I'm inclined to believe you. I really definitely think it does look like Bashar Assad did this, a viewer saying this, but the Free Syrian Army, are you in control of all of your elements? Aren't there people out there, rogue groups, more extremist, Islamist, jihadists, Al-Qaeda groups that you don't have control of that could have used these weapons?
Sure.
How do we know that?
Sure, we said that we are not, but listen, it should look at the target. What this chemical weapon targeted? The regime forces, the Bashar al-Assad presidential palace. It targeted us. It targets the liberated area. So in all the world, when we want to look at the crime and to investigate on a crime, first thing what the target? The target was us. Was our people, was the women and children in the liberated area, not Bashar al-Assad family. They are our people. Even if the extremists who want to use this chemical and they has the chemical weapon, they will target the Bashar al-Assad. They will not target the civilian.
But sir, let me ask you, this is the whole core of the argument here. It's this sense that people still don't have a sense, unlike, say, in Libya with the opposition fighters there, they still don't have a comfort zone with who the rebel fighters are. Even if the FSA is moderate, as you say, moderate fighters. They don't really know who the weapons are going to. They don't know who's using them. This is the problem, isn't it?
We made it very clear that there is inside the Supreme Military Council, and General Salim Idris, he give all the guarantees that those weapons will go only into the good hands, onto our people, the Syrian. Those people who lived there 7,000 years without one battle, one fight between each others. We don't know what the ethnic means. We are all live together in this ground from 7,000 years. So, and we are made it very clear, we will not cooperate by any way with the extremist group or with the people who's trying to hijack our revolution, who's supported by Bashar al-Assad. We made it very clear that Dawlat al-Iraq wal-Sham and Jabhat al-Nusra, they are not part of us.
However,
they are not fighting for the same battle.
But however, let me just make the point. I was speaking to another representative of the Free Syrian Army on the set a few months ago, and he said to me, listen, I asked him about al-Nusra, a more extremist group, obviously, and he said, listen, we don't support al-Nusra, but we're going to let them fight because unless the West gives us weapons, we have no choice.
No, that's not how things goes.
That's how it was back then.
Actually, let me explain to you something. We can't now stop al-Nusra or the other extremist group from fighting. Because we are short already in weapons. We are short in everything. We asked the West 2 years now just to help us, to organize ourselves more on the ground, to support us and we told them from the beginning, if you don't help us, if you don't help the moderate people, the normal Syrian people, those people who the extremist group on the ground, they will be stronger and more effective because they are playing with Bashar al-Assad a very clear game that they control some areas and Bashar al-Assad control the other area. He's just fighting there and they fighting there. They are not fighting even the regime. They fighting us. They killed some of our commanders.
So you're saying the extremists really fighting you and coordinating with Bashar Assad. I just want to ask you, the reports recently that the CIA had been training certain fighters from the Free Syrian Army in Jordan, that they have now perhaps moved into the south of Syria in Daraa province. What can you tell us about that?
No, there's a lot of in the media. There's a lot of things that goes on the media. It's not right. That the United States, the government in the United States, they helped us. Yeah, they helped us by training, by some logistical equipments, by those kind of stuff. But they didn't till now give us any weapons, any kind of weapons. But they promise us in the next level and not maybe in the next period of time They will give us some weapons. They will try to help us more because now they start to feel the real danger of Bashar al-Assad and even for the extremists. That we look at the extremists that they want to hijack our revolution. We don't want our country to be any kind of extremist or khilafah.
You say that, but is it too late right now? What happens? Final question. What happens, let's say, Bashar Assad falls tomorrow, next week, 1 month from now. What type of Syria do you see right now after Assad? Do you see the promise of a secular Syria?
I promise by democratic Syria, by free and secular Syria, we will not allow the extremists to hijack our country or to hijack our future or to hijack our future.
And it's not
children.
too late to prevent that.
No, sure. We are 25 million. How much the extremists? They know that they will lose any battle with the Syrian people because if Bashar al-Assad, he couldn't scare the Syrian people or stop them from making revolution or to make our future, believe me, the extremists will do nothing with us because the Syrian people, we are different ethnics, we are living together and we will stay together for the future. No one can push on the Syrian to change their future and no one can push on them to choose this kind of khilafah or Islamic country or this kind because all the majority of the Syrian people, they will not accept only democratic country and equality between all the people because all of us, we fight at this regime to build our democratic country.
Louay Al-Mokdad, we're going to have to leave it there. A plea for a democratic Syria, a Syria obviously without Bashar Assad, presumably in power. We've been talking about the Free Syrian Army in the wake of a Russian proposal that would call on Syria to turn over its chemical arsenal to an international community. People are trying to figure out, can you really take the Russians and the Syrian government at their word? Is there anything really to this plan? And what does it mean for the future of Syria? Thank you very much for coming on our show today.
Thank you.
Thanks to all of you for watching the interview here on False Cat.